welcome to this channel. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and press the notification button so that you'll be able to enjoy our video whenever we post. And we say remain blessed as we move on. Mr. Chinedu, it is surprising and baffle everyone as we are seeing some poster posted around Abuja now condemning Masin Nabdekano, a matter that is in the court already. So what is really going on? Are we going to see a judge that has been predetermined, that has been tailored towards some people's opinion? Because a case in the court shouldn't be treated like this.
You are not far from the truth, and it comes to a lot of imaginations where the posters are being put. The DSS did not see them, the police did not see them, nobody cited who are those who are moving from one particular place, to predict and incite the judge against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, incite the DSS against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, incite also the hooded DSS against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and then incite the court and judiciary against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That was the picture they were painting on those posters. And I can tell you the reaction is already in Enugu currently now. There's a massive protest against Nigerian state. In fact, the people of Enugu are demanding, because the problem is that they have had so much people from Benue now joining Enugu people. The crowd, the momentum is spreading, the awareness is spreading.
People that run away from
insurgency, from Benue, they've already flooded Enugu. So they are coming with different information, they're coming with different news, and that has fueled the protest that has spread currently now in Enugu. And one of these protesters was sounding gallantly, and thank God for the Commissioner of Police in that state, who said now they are trying to make sure that the protest is always peaceful, because the guys are saying nobody have seen anything yet, and they are ready. Whatever it's going to take, they are ready, and they are saying it. The manner in which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial is going is suspicious. You understand? It's suspicious. How can the federal government be there and somebody is championing that kind of posters all over Abuja, putting, trying to create an impression about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even though they knew as citizens of this country that what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking about is happening right there in their face. But that brought us to the international community too. The likes of some world leaders who are openly watching. They pretend as if they don't know what is happening in Nigeria. But I can tell you that these people are taking note of everything. And when they want to use it against Nigeria, Nigeria will be surprised. At what point did we come to this level? It's just like what happened in Israel, between Israel and Hamas. Nobody knew that Israel has been documenting Hamas activities over the years. Give them a lot of opportunities to mess Israel up at the end of the day. Until a day came, they crossed their boundary. And you can see 700 people, 60,000 Hamas died. Just 700 people in Israel that was kidnapped in October 7th. As I'm talking to you now, over 60,000. Israel has disallowed over 60,000 of Hamas. Hezbollah, name them as I'm talking to you now. So what is breeding, might be seen as the Igbo people as cowards, as weak, or conquered, But I'm telling you, they are sending a serious signal by the way and manner Nnamdi Kanu is being tried. It is provocative, it is annoying, it is a threat to over 85 million Igbos, Biafrans around the world. And I must use this opportunity to send a strong signal to that faction guy they call Isinguzo, that happens to say he's an Ohanese person, to respect himself and respect the use of words, that a lot of us are not fools. We are not fools. Respect yourself. It is not about the Igbo people. We are talking about the 40 regions, states that make up Biafra. Biafra was not fought by Igbo people alone. Biafra was fought by the Biafrans themselves. He should respect himself. It's Nguzo that says he is a faction, whether your faction belong to APC or not. Respect Igbo people. Respect your statement. God, there's nothing like Igbo Heroes Day. What we are saying is Biafran Day. Respect yourself. I think on that note, that is what I'm trying to point out, that the sensitization and the awareness is also spreading. And you can see, it is our belief that all the cross-examination carried out in the court by the lawyers and defense team. At the end of the day, nobody has found Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be guilty of anything. Whatever they are trying to create out of it, that is what is fueling, the protests all over in the eastern part of the country now. I say it without any reservation that the George Washington of America was once charged with felony and treasonable charges, but today America is free. America is celebrating.
And they are celebrating
freedom.
Mr. Chinedu Michael, are you want to join me to believe that in a situation where there will be justice and equity in this country, ADF should have come out and condemn what is happening in Abuja now, because this is a matter that is in the court already, and something like that shouldn't be witnessed. Even you cannot comment too much on something.
Yes,
that is in the court.
On a matter that is in the court, you do not comment anything. You do not say anything. But trying to use these people to issue a threat to the judge, James Omotosho, deal with Nnamdi Kanu, jail him. He's a terrorist. He has committed felony. He has killed many people. But Nnamdi Kanu never carried gun against anybody. You are seeing it on daily basis. Those who are carrying gun on daily basis, killing Nigerians. Then you are saying. They are saying that somebody has said with his mouth that say defend themselves, at least to put a little fear on these people. Let them go and stay on their own. You are take Omotosho, James Omotosho should have conscience too. He is from Ondo State. You should look at it very well. Look at it deeply. If it is not politically, and interest based. He's drafting into this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, then it means that there's a lot to it, then we are going to expect justice at the end of the day. But if it is what we are thinking, to the extent that people are started posting posters predicting the judgment before judgment, means there's a lot that's going on, and that's what is triggering,
another counter protest from Enugu.
And the protest is spreading towards Benue. As I'm talking to you, all the Benue youths now are arming themselves with Biafran flag and the rest of them. So it's trending already online. You can see it online, and that is what it is.
Are we saying it is this federal government that is trying to even make the issue of agitation get more worse because of the way they are handling things? Because I expect them to have come out now and condemn that poster. That is how to control something. But they saw the poster and they keep quiet. What does that one mean? And the people that are behind this poster, can we say it is the same hand that kept Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention for almost 5 years now? They are the one that's behind that poster, because some of them even said that they regretted not killing Nnamdi Kanu while they catch him at Kenya. So what do you have to say about this?
Quite very painful, that is happening under a southern president, simply because Buhari left an instruction to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do not release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, then that what will happen, that will happen. And I think he has, followed that, in that agreement, until we start seeing massive pressure, until there's a kind of lock back of Nigerian image internationally, and when Bola Ahmed noticed that Nigeria is being shut out at the international and global scene space, the international community is not being allowed to access anything, because it is being believed he is having a human rights record issue. Yes, and that pressure came, and we saw, okay, everything was pointing towards Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that the US government also sent their delegates and all that. There was so much pressure, there was so much, this thing. And says, okay, let us. And on the course of opening trial against Mazi Nnamdi, it was discovered that he had nothing. They were just keeping him there based on interest, based on whatever they call it, kidnapping or whatever that happened. Then everybody has been able to prove anything, but still,
from tracing felony to terrorism.
Yes, he is still in DSS custody. Those who are making things difficult for Nigeria are nowhere to be found, and the government knows them. And people who are saying the whole thing, but they have made Nnamdi Kanu a global, a person. They have, added so much strength, because, the more he's been persecuted, I think the more he grows wings, the more, and we're expecting a lot of things to happen in that direction. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not die in DSS custody under a Southern president. That would be very, very unbelievable.
Even the Boju witness that they brought to the court, majority of them are government. They don't know. Some of them, the response they are getting from them is not encouraging. So you will be surprised. Why do they bring this kind of people that don't know something about
I think it get to a point. Omotosho himself, Judge Omotosho, the presiding judge, got annoyed because what he expected in terms of defense during the cross-examination by Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Agabi Kanu, it was not what he was getting. These guys were just are responding off point completely. How can they be asking you questions about files, days, how you engage in one or two things surrounding this thing? You don't know that IPOB has been unprescribed. You don't know that the difference between IPOB and EBA. You don't know who is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You don't know who is Simon Ekpa. You are just confusing everything. And still, the DSS kept Mazi Nnamdi Kanu there. So going to court, because there is a kind of manipulative tendencies that I'm beginning to see recently, and that is why everybody is going to be careful, because we don't know actually where James Omotosho actually stand in this case currently now. But from the last statement issued by the IPOB, everybody is an IPOB. That's, you can't say nobody is another. IPOB is an IPOB. IPOB means indigenous people of Biafra. And you cannot say that people does not have right to answer indigenous people. It's never done. So we are going to see how Omotosho is going to handle the trial. But I think from the first statement he made, he said he's tired of this statement, and for him, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shouldn't be in DSS custody. We are waiting to see.
The normally placid streets of Enugu burst into intense activity for probably the wrong reasons.
Release our director. We want our freedom.
A small crowd of youths flying what they call the Biafran flag line the streets to lend their voice to the latest agitations for a separate entity and in defiance to police warnings.
The armies and SACs and police came in that summit road. They shot tear gas at us, but we didn't run. They shot tear gas again and we didn't run. But when they look at it that we are gallant, that we are not afraid, they begin to shoot at us.
So, and what we want to tell the Nigerian government is to release our leader. Because if they don't release our leader, we are telling you by the time we are going to do another mega protest. This one, you will know that this one is just a child's play.
In response to the protesters' allegation that some of them were shot by security operatives, the Enugu State Police Command insists that the demonstrations have so far been peaceful and there's been no violence anywhere.
All of a sudden, someone is seen, coming up, and in their large numbers. So in that case, what we will try to do is to manage the situation so that it does not degenerate into uncontrollable situation, because it might even try to, whatever thing you do might even meet resistance, and in that case you begin to talk about genocide, and we don't want to be identified with that. So we just carefully try to manage the situation and watch out for what we are looking for.
It's most unlikely that any of the protesters experienced the events of the original Biafra, but their agitation for the resurrection of a best forgotten point in history has to be handled delicately but firmly before it gets out of hand. Charles Eruka for Channels Television News.
And to look further into the agitation of the Biafra youths, let's now join Linda Higbe from our Abuja studio. Over to you now, Linda.
Hello and welcome to Abuja. The Nigeria police says it is not finding the actions of the protesters calling for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra funny, as clearly the actions question the unity and sovereign entity of Nigeria. Therefore, Under the law, their actions are treasonable. The police warn that there is need for caution in making their unconstitutional demands. Now, joining me on the news at 10 is the Deputy Inspector General of Police for Operations, Mr. Sotonye Wakama. Mr. Wakama, you're welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you just watched the last report. What do you think of the seeming intransigence of the pro-Biafra protesters?
Well, let's start by getting something right. This is a democracy. Any person, any group of persons can protest or agitate for whatever it is they want, with the caveat that they do so within the law. The problem that we're having with this particular protest is that some actions of the protesters are not within the law. Some of them are carrying cudgels, they're acting in a riotous manner, they're blocking highways, carrying a Biafran flag and things like that. And these things are threatening to other persons. So if they behave in a calm, reasonable and rational manner, nobody will protest about it. We won't have any issue about it. But as it is, they are breaking the law.
But back to the reason for the protest, the police, you're saying that it's treasonable. Now, do you think the people are aware of this?
Well, first of all, whether it is treasonable or not, we'll leave that to the courts to decide. Okay. It's not for us to rule one way or the other. But if they don't know what they're doing, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So.
Now, the Inspector General of Police on Friday issued a warning on this ongoing mass protest, but clearly it is being defied by the protesters. So what do we expect next from the police?
Well, as you have said, a warning has been given, and everybody knows about that warning, has heard of it. We have so far tried to manage this matter such that it doesn't cause too much inconvenience, let's put it that way, to people. But if it continues, and if it continues outside the ambits of the law, then the police will take the necessary action that the law dictates.
By necessary action, what do we mean?
You will arrest and prosecute people.
Oh. Okay, now, one of the demands of these young men is that their leaders are being held in by security operatives. Do you have any of their leaders in your custody?
Not to my knowledge, but we are aware that I think one of the leaders, Kano, has been apprehended, maybe by one of the other security services.
Not the Nigeria Police Force?
No.
Now, what if they refuse to heed to the warnings of the Inspector General? What are your options?
Well, our options are dictated by law. It's very simple. If you are breaking the law, then it's the duty of law enforcement, not just the police, other law enforcement agencies too, to apprehend those